Good morning, my friends. Remembering that the capacity to befriend those things that disturb us is the central part of a mindful practice and a mindful life. I want to continue today with you on befriending anger. So often we get caught up in seeing the outcome of anger that is aggressive. In just meditation, we talked about resentment and ways to release that form of anger, which can become circular, repetitive, and stuck. Often, anger is a kind of firefighter, jumping out to protect us at times when we're caught off guard. And even though it sometimes is not pretty, it does protect us. People back away, and we rise above. These are forms of anger, which in its essence is really simply a surge of adrenaline, overlaid with thinking. And it is the thinking that determines what happens next with that rush of adrenaline. Adrenaline is the chemical that speeds up everything in the body, shuts down digestion, sharpens hearing, readies muscles to jump, and tears open our heart in a complicated way, depending on what thoughts we put together with anger. So let us sit together and reflect today on anger from a different direction. Let yourself be seated if you're not already, and settle into your chair. Feel the pressure of that chair against your seat and against your back. And as you breathe, just notice how that support feels when your body can let go and let that support be there for you, just as it is. Firm, holding, and turning your awareness to your breathing. Notice how that breathing reflects the same thing, a firm movement of waves passing through your body on the in-breath and the out-breath. And yet underneath that, just like it is in the ocean, is a deep, steady, enfolding and quiet space. That heart center that we talk about is in fact the center of all creation in its own way, that has steadiness available at its core or at its depths. And this, my friends, is also you. Reflect on this as you breathe. There's a poem by David White that speaks to anger from a different side than we usually think about it, which is its outward manifestation. And I ask you to just quietly breathe and listen. Open your ears, open the ears of your heart, and listen, and notice what stands out to you in this poem. Anger is the deepest form of compassion for another, for the world, for the self, for a life, for the body, for a family, and for all of our ideals of vulnerability and all possibly about to be hurt. Stripped of physical imprisonment and violent reaction, anger is the purest form of care. The internal living flame of anger always illuminates what we belong to, what we wish to protect, what we hold most dear. and what we are willing to hazard ourselves for. What stands out to you? Anger is the deepest form of compassion for another. Compassion for the world, for the self, for a life, for the body, for a family, and for all of our ideals, all vulnerable and all possibly about to be hurt. Stripped of physical imprisonment and violent reaction, anger is the purest form of care. The internal living flame of anger always illuminates what we belong to and what we wish to protect and what we are willing to hazard ourselves for. Reflect on this and how this speaks to your own life today. Your anger as the deepest form of compassion. Where do you see that in your life today? Quietly look for it in your mind and in your heart, because it's there. Think of the last time that you were angry. And what is it that was most important to you? What did you belong to? What did you wish to protect? About what did you feel vulnerable or about to be hurt? Perhaps it was an internal anger, smoldering, beginning to come into flame, but not quite there yet. Perhaps it was outward anger that's out of your mouth or was pushed out of your mouth before you had much chance to think about it. Always consider the truth of David's words. Anger is the deepest form of compassion for another, for the world, for the self, and for all of our ideals, all vulnerability, and all possibly about to be hurt. Carry this with you, my friends. Reflect on yourself when anger arises, and take that mindful few moments to discern what at that moment do you wish to protect. What in that moment are you willing to hazard yourself for? And why is it that that is so important? To engage with your compassion right then and right now. Let us honor our anger as we go out and recognize it as the passion of our heart towards those things that are most dear. See what you see today, my friends. Go out and be mindful of angry moments. Namaste. Amen.